Hey everybody, welcome to Board Game Heaven. My name is Raymond, and today I'm going to play a board game on Tabletop Simulator called Rogue Angels by Emil Larson, who is with me here today. Hey Emil.
Hi, Raymond.
So,
Thanks for
yeah,
letting me on.
absolutely, absolutely no problem. Thanks for being here. So Rogue Angels is a new upcoming tabletop game. It's a sci-fi dungeon crawler, and you're going to bring it to Kickstarter on February 1st, 2022, so next year. And Emil, what can you tell us about this game?
Yeah, it's a game I've been wanting to create for a long time, and it springs from my previous science fiction game, Burning Suns, and the Rogue Angels was kind of my Mass Effect inspired board game take on the universe and the lore that me and my author had created. Um, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we've already played the demo scenario, so basically the tutorial, which is a couple of smaller chapters that are played in succession, and every small chapter teaches you something about the game. So, like things like movement and interacting and combat. So, I already know the core rules for this. So we are now going to play the second chapter, and we will explain the rules as we go. It's a very intuitive game, so you'll quickly catch on as we go. So we've already selected a character here. My character over here is Sigyn, or Sigyn, who is kind of like a cross between an android and some kind of alien, and so kind of like a cyborg. And your character is Tarira Silesius, kind of an alien
Mm.
species, a little bit snake-like. And we both have the characters are all asymmetrical, and as we rotate the board here, at the end there I can see multiple characters there. So there's about still 12 characters here. So that's yeah, 12 different characters, and it has a bit of a backstory about each of these characters, and so each character also has its own set of cards. So, for example, here's another one. Is your character, and the game is played on a board which is a binder, very much like Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, where you had a binder with the rings in the middle, but this one is going to be a big A3 book with the
Mm.
binder on the side, so that you have an uninterrupted large map, and those pages are going to be double-sided. And part of the
Mm.
box, I believe, this is part of the box, is the ship. So as you can see, it has walls.
It's a box within the box. So it is
Exactly.
its own box that acts as a playing area and a compartment for the save game.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So you can, of course,
Mm.
save your progress as you go through the campaign, which is
Mm.
pretty cool. So we have each a hand of cards, and well, we'll be playing those cards. They've got a cooldown system with numbers here, which will be underneath your character sheet, and cards will move down the track as you take a turn, and eventually get back to your hand again. So it's different than a deck builder, and it's pretty interesting. I found this a pretty unique way of handling your actions, which I really liked. But we'll get to that as we play. So let's first start with the setup of this next scenario. So we have our characters
Yeah,
here. The game will have
yeah, we've
standees, right?
correct, correct, yeah.
Right. Let's
And
let's
we
just
have already like I mean that this is the setup you will have. You have the map, and you have now I've just put the ship because I know second mission requires that, right?
right.
But other than that, you will only bring forward the things that is mentioned in the campaign book over
Mm-hmm.
here. So we get to the second mission.
Mm-hmm.
you can see how there is a bit of a story, and then there will be a lineup in terms of what we should put on the board itself.
Yes. Let me just see if I can get that little screen there. All right. So chapter 2 is called Digital Blood. So fun thing is, of course, it's a story-rich game. It's a narrative game. So there's always a little bit of story to read here for the players. So we've got this contact called Umbrasius, and we've met up with them, I believe, and we're at Vexation refueling station orbiting Gehenna. So there's a whole backstory about this in the universe that you created called the Burning Suns. And so here Umbrasius tells us, I don't want to bore you with history lessons about the Assembly's continued attempts at flushing out the Hellfire pirates on this system. But it is worth noting that the Hellfires have been up to much more than just regular pirating after they got their asses handed to them in the Hellfire campaigns. I'll pause here for a sec, because the fun thing is when one of the players is reading this, the other player can already set up the board just like you're doing right now, which keeps people engaged during setup. Not that setup is very long. Usually you just need to put down some, like you are doing here, some doors and some interactive elements and a few standees. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a fun way to play a game. I always like it when games have a little bit of a backstory and you have to read that. So now rumors have it that the pirates have allowed various corporations and factions to establish research outposts within Vexation, earning them vast sums of protection money. The goal of these facilities is to develop new antimatter technology that can reshape entire planets, maybe even stars themselves. And since it happens outside of the Assembly's jurisdiction, everyone seems to turn a blind eye. My people will of course pay you and your team handsomely if you can help me acquire some of their research. It will help us establish colonies and dominance in our region of the galaxy, carving out an area worthy of the polity's colonial ambitions. Now, locating any of these research sites on the primary Hellfire base, for that matter, is almost impossible due to the planet's heavy atmospheres and the complex radiation pattern of the nearby suns. But I've come across a few supply records giving us the first clue of where to start looking. So whenever you're ready, I suggest we get going. And then it says, you got the nice image. This is, of course, a work in progress. It's just a sketch. It will have nice art. And when ready, continue to C2 mission layout. So that's when I flip the page. That is the layout. So map's already been set up by now. The map also tells you what... Oh, I can't do that. I can't move the mouse. What elements you need on the right of the map there to put on the board. And the R and the yellow in the lower right corner are basically red and yellow units that are going to be placed on the board as well. So the team is on the left there. We are on some kind of corridor here. In the middle there's like an elevator platform, I believe. And on the bottom you can see a time track. So we are basically timed. Every mission does have a time limit, number of turns we can take. And then there's a little bit more text and the mission parameters. So depending on the number of players, we have a turn limit of 12, 15, or 18 turns. So that's rather long. The tutorial missions are usually much shorter. And we succeed if we disable both consoles within 2 consecutive turns. So they're timed. Triggers and conditions. There are patrol droids while on systemic patrolling. So that's a purple tagline. There's a, how'd you call it? A purple a keyword.
Yeah, exactly. It's the name of the card that you will be drawing to see how the enemies behave, the enemy behavior cards.
Right. So that's this card here. It also says systemic patrolling, and we'll get to that as well. But basically, yeah, like you said, it tells you how the enemy, the AI, behaves. So we'll get to that. Then a patrol droid moves only 1 instead of 2 squares. Secondly, if the consoles are disabled within 2 consecutive turns, we can remove all the patrol droids, so that's good. And if players find themselves within the range and line of sight of the enemies at the end of a player turn, or if they attack an enemy, or if they fail to disable both consoles within 2 consecutive turns, obviously an alarm will go off, then change the EBC to automated attack. So then we'll be discovered. So we need to be a little bit stealthy here, I guess. And then change the goal to eliminate all enemies. And we need to decrease the turn token because, of the alarm. We need to get out of there fast.
Yeah, so we can choose to either disable the consoles or we can just kill the droids, right?
Exactly. But then our number of turns will drastically decrease. And we fail if the turn token reaches 0 or if all players are unconscious. And then we need to restart the mission. And as you can see, if there is a success, we can continue to mission update 1A. And there is another trigger. So the story does also branch. There's a branching story here, which is quite interesting. So
and that's also why you only present it with 1 page at any given time, at any moment, in terms of the story, because first of all, I only want people to deal with a certain amount of information at a time, right? Because people can only remember that much, and to make it more accessible and easier and more fun, to have this progression. Yes. And then, of course, also because I don't want to reveal all the things that might happen or might not happen along the way, right?
Yeah, makes sense, yeah. Okay, so those are the red patrol droids. Do we also need to put down the yellow ones?
Oh, yeah, that's because you only put team size amount of patrol droids, so... You start with red until you're filled up, and then you go to yellow. And so if we were 3, we would have R1 and 2, and then yellow 1, right?
Okay, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. So it scales with the number of players, and that, of course, makes total sense. Okay, and now we can put our characters on the starting area, I assume. So that would be one of these 4. So down there. And we already know that the consoles are here and here, so we may have to split up and each try to disable 1 console each. All right, so we can get started.
You ready to start?
Yeah, sure. Should I start, or do you want to start?
Yeah, we need to figure out who should be the commander on this mission.
Okay.
So we always choose in the beginning of a mission, we choose who is the commander, because if there are ties at any point, like in terms of voting or in terms of strategy planning, whatever, then the commander can tell what should happen at that point, right? So, but it is not a permanent position. It's just for each mission you decide who should be the one in charge. So, of course, I think it should be you because there's more fun in that.
All right. Okay, I hope you know what you're doing. So
and then I'm also not to blame if something happens, and that's good.
I see what you did. Yeah, okay. Okay, so let me just see what I can... My plan is to head towards the first door here on the left and go... Yeah, we'll see what's in the room and try to get to that console. So... I have several cards here. Yes.
If I may comment on my character's inability to do sophisticated hacking, maybe I should take the nearest door so you could go for the door further away here.
Yeah.
Because you have ability to both do hacking from a range and close up.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. So that perhaps the hacker goggles that I have here interact with an adjacent object for X and place this card on the cooldown slot match the X. Oh, so I can boost it up and then it takes longer to cool down. All right, that's interesting. All right, so that means I need to move fast. So let's see if
Yeah,
I use
and
this.
your gun here can also do. You're one of the few who has a rifle that can both shoot and hack.
And interact. Yeah, exactly. It has the interact keyword. So I can choose to do that. Oh, that's pretty cool. It's a jamming rifle. Awesome. So, or interact with an object, yeah, within 5 spots. And that is with closed doors even, or do I need to have line of sight? Probably.
Line of sight, but you can definitely do the, you know, from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So you can hack this door from over here.
Oh, correct. Yeah. So the doors are locked, and we need to hack them open as well. Then
Yeah, yeah.
cool. Okay. Yeah. So line of sight, as you see, is measured from the middle of a square to the middle of a square, and if it doesn't cross any walls or closed doors or things like that, then you have line of sight. Okay. Well then, better save these then to do the actual hacking. So my basic movement is 1 movement, plus I get to roll a die. And the dice have different kind of things. They have a +1 face on them, which
Yeah.
means that if you have a number between those brackets there, like on this card, then you can add that to that number. There's also this die.
You see here is the die results.
Oh, exactly. This is easier. Yeah, there's also a +2. There's a side that lets you choose between a +1 or a shield. And your shield is basically prevents you from taking damage, but every hit you take, that goes down by 1 per hit. So you can recharge your shield. There's another die face with just a shield. Then there's one with a +1 or 1 movement. And there's a face with 2 extra movement spaces. So that's what the dice are. All right, so just to keep it simple, I'll play my basic move. Now, the basic move in the top left here has an icon that has a 0. That means the cooldown. There's a little clock next to it as well. And that means the cooldown of this card is actually 0. On the right, it says that it's technically a movement type card. So I'll use that, and then I only need to put it on cooldown 0 here. That's basically next to my character sheet, because as you can see on the bottom here, that's the cooldown of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now that I've played this card, I can move 1 spot, plus I can roll a die. So I'll take a die and I'll roll that. There we go. And here I can choose for either a shield or a +1. So I'll take the +1. So that means I can move 2 spots. And movement can be done both orthogonally and diagonally. So this is my character, so I'll move 1, 2 spots, which means I'm now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away from this door. So I should be able to hack it from here with the jamming rifle. So I'll play that card on spot number 2, because this has a cooldown of 2 on the top left there. So I'm putting it down here. You can always put a card up higher on the cooldown track, and if a spot is also already occupied, then you need to put it at least 1 higher if you can. But some cards are actually, they give you a boost while they are in play, so it's more beneficial to put them in the highest spot, and then they will cool down. Okay, so, and here you can also check the player secret. So you have 2 actions, right? So I used 1 card for a movement action, and another card for the jamming rifle action. And then once we've done that, we'll take a look at the other things on this card. So this card also lets me roll a die. And I'm going to select the second bit of the card so I can interact with an object for 1 within 5 spaces. So that means I can interact with that door on the right there I'll roll the die.
And before you roll, like just in, or it doesn't matter, but you can choose to spend your personality tokens to temporarily boost the action that you are executing, right? So here you could, for example, spend a red dominant token to get a +1 damage or +1 interact in this instance here, so that you would be sure to get more, right? If that was in your interest at this moment.
Okay.
But they are spent. Those personality tokens are spent. Is one time spent out of for a mission, right? So you will get them back once we start a new mission. So you also want to be a bit cautious about how you spend them, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, what you see here on the bottom left, those 4 colors are basically 4 attributes. Let's see. On the other side, you got dominating, inspiring, cautious, and supportive. So traits, basically. And when you're playing the campaign in between missions, you can upgrade some of those, and you color in those white lines. So as you can see here in this example, the first spots on the red and the yellow track on my character are blacked in, so they're colored in, and that means I get 1 red and 1 yellow token. And then later on in the game, if I can color in more of those white stripes, I get more tokens at the start of a mission, and like you said, you spend them, and then the next mission after you complete one, you get those tokens back. So they're a one-time use, but they keep on regenerating. So that's also pretty awesome. And in the middle here, also, while we're at it, I've got 2 skills. I've got Assassin Doctrine. Whenever I destroy an enemy, I gain a focus, I believe it was, the yellow symbols. And those I can spend to re-roll dice, so 1 per die, I believe. And the second one is Overwritten Protocol. You cannot perform the action concentrate, so I can't use the concentrate action. There's a third
you cannot
slot
regain focus by concentrating.
Okay.
So
there's also a third slot there, which is basically a legacy kind of element to the game, because you're making a sticker sheet which has additional of these skills, and then you can get some during the campaign and stick them on your character board, giving them a permanent new ability. So that's also pretty cool. So we've covered pretty much everything. The only thing that we haven't covered are the white icons all the way on the right side. Shall we cover them now, or when?
Well, it's just scars, and we can only take those in the end of the mission, so we can get back to that.
Okay, perfect. All right. So well, I've already rolled my die. I wasn't gonna use one of those tokens to do a +1 on the interact action. So I've got a 2 basically to interact with the door. So now what happens?
So now you are allowed to drag 2 tokens, up to 2 tokens from this interaction bag.
Okay.
And the bag contains 3 different colors, and all of them are in the quantity of 8. But the white ones, which are wild, can go for any color, and those and there are 4 of those colors. 4 of those tokens. And you want to draw so that you get 3 matching tokens in order to have a successful interaction, as like you're hacking or you're opening doors, or it's the same thing, right? It just has a bit of fluff to it. So you want to get the 3 matching tokens. You're allowed to keep 1 color per interaction. So if you do not completely manage to complete an interaction in one action, you can always continue it on the subsequent actions. Right?
So I draw 2 tokens right now, correct?
Yeah, 1 at a time. Yeah.
So okay, I get a blue token, and I get a red token.
Yeah, you're allowed to keep 1 of them.
Yeah. So it's a gamble. I'm just gonna I like the blue token. So I put the red one back.
Yeah. And the blue one you just put next to the object you have tried to interact with.
All right. Okay. That's
So now you have started the hacking process, and I can now come and help out on that particular object, or I can do another object or try to interact with it.
all right. So those were basically my two actions. Then I end my turn with a free rest action, which means basically my cards cool down. Well, this one instantly goes back to my hand, so I could have actually, if needed, you can also use free cards like the basic move here with the 0 twice in a row if you want to use two actions. Same with the basic interact card here. But this one, since it was on cooldown, it moves down one spot. And then I flip my activation token, so that battery's empty. My turn is over. And then I move the turn token one spot to the right. So that was one turn taken. And then we check, of course, every time you check if your mission was a success or if anything is triggered, if you need to update it. And then the enemies take their turn. So, if you want to...
Oh, we have the enemies over here has the systemic patrolling.
Yep.
And the enemy behavior cards have a bit of a, like how you would program a robot to move, or whatever you might call it, right? So here we can see that there is a condition in the top that defines whether or not we should use the third row or we should use the two top rows. So if the last activated player interacted with an object, the activated enemy will use the third row instead, right?
Okay.
So in this instance, we look at the red side, which is the enemies with the red bases. And they will now activate, and only the lowest and the second lowest enemy will move. So if there had been 4 red ones, like 1, 2, 3, 4, then only 1 and 2 would activate on their turn.
Okay.
So you will not have like all 4 activate, so you will have a fairly slim and easy progression on the enemies. And since they are a bit weaker usually than our heroes, then of course 2 of them move, so we also get a challenge at some point when we fight them.
Yeah.
In this instance here,
yes,
we have to go to the third one that says move, and the target is last activated player. So they will move from where they are, and we know from the campaign that they will only move 1, even though when we look at this standee, we can see that they have a movement speed of 2. But they will only move 1 for now.
Okay.
So they will just move, starting with number 1, move towards last activated player, which is 1 to the side here and 1 to the side here. They are trying to get over here towards you, right?
Yes.
So let's see here. Then it is my turn, because that's it. That's their movement. So my turn. I will ready myself with an intimidating battle cry, and you already talked about how these effect cards that have lasting effects while they're in the cooldown track, you want to play them as high as possible. It's possible for me to play it in 1, but I want to put it in 4 because I want to get this benefit for as long as possible.
Okay.
So I get 2 dice that I can roll.
Yes.
And while they do not upgrade anything on my they don't add anything to my particular card, I can still gain movement from them. Yeah, I got a shield and 2 movement. So I do not need the shield, I have full shield, but I will take the 2 movement, and I will move 1, 2. So I am here. I will try to draw them towards me.
Kiting tactics. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I will probably just do a movement. Yeah,
Oh,
that can
yeah.
happen apparently.
Plus.
So I have 2 movements,
Mm-hmm.
and I do not want to be within range of them. But since I will just move here,
Yep.
and that would be my turn. So I have cooled down my cards. I move my activation token, and I will move the turn token to 10. So, and the enemies will now move. Usually we would flip that over here to the other side. Like this is a PDF, but it would be separate cards that you would pick up.
Yep.
And we have the other side of the cards is yellow, so you would activate the ones with the yellow bases, the enemies with the yellow bases. But since there are only red ones, we just keep it at the red.
Right. Yeah.
The red side.
On the number of players, of
So,
course. Yeah.
They will move, and I did not activate anything, but since I am in a straight line from them, I think I will be moving. Let's see here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this guy will still move here, and this one will move here. That might be just me screwing up. I should probably have been here, so they would both move towards me. But it depends a bit on how you now navigate.
Yeah. Well, I can try taking them out as well.
Yeah, it's not a problem for a character like you.
All right. So that was the enemy's turn, and then we're back to us. So we can flip our tokens back over to indicate we're active. Now, at this point, we can decide who goes first. So you could technically go again right now. And then...
Yeah. It might be a good idea if we want to try to hack these things. It might be a good idea for us to let me activate again. So they will move towards me, even though I will not be able to spend my turn on anything efficient. Otherwise, you could, of course, you have one more turn before they will reach you. So you can also try to open that door there and then move back to here.
Okay.
For them to, like, we can either do something like where we try to manipulate them, or we can destroy them, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's see if I can open that door, because I was also thinking if I try and interact with the other door now, I hopefully will pull out some other colors so that the chance of opening that door will increase.
Yeah.
Less other colors in there. So let's see. I'm next to the door, so I could technically just use, well, let's see. I could use the hacker goggles as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, why not? Because after that, we might want to take out the guards anyway, and then the thing can cool down. So since spot 1 is taken anyway, I could give it an X of 2, and then roll a die, and hopefully. So this X, it's not in brackets, right? So I can't add any dice to that.
Okay. Like, I mean, the result on the die will not give you a plus. It could give you movement, for example. So you could move afterwards, or you could, so you could open, if you manage to open the door, then you could move backwards and then try to get over to my position to lure them away.
Yeah.
From the doors, so we have a chance of getting in there, or yeah. So that's, or you could regain shield if you needed to.
Yes. Let's see. This is this is my disruption suit, which is an effect that stays in play as long as it's in the cooldown, and that means I have +2 to all of my movement actions, so it makes me move faster, and adjacent enemies have -2. So that's a very good piece of gear to use later on when we start fighting. I have these legs that have jump over an object for 2 spaces, then deal 3 to an adjacent enemy. So, well, they're not adjacent yet with that. So let me see. I'll try and use. Yeah, what do you think? Should I use the basic interact or the goggles?
You probably want to. I mean, if you do not get this door open, we are probably forced to kill them or to destroy them, I think.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of turns. But if you get it open, then you are allowed to kind of move back and have them, move the other way around, which allows us to then go here and deal with the second door, right?
Right. Yeah, we're going to try and
So,
make them go in a circular
yeah.
clockwise motion. All right, so this is an attack card. This is basic interact. Let's see. So yeah, I guess I could try and use the goggles. Although I still have focus, so I could, re-roll dice as well. If I roll this one, I try and get a +2 perhaps.
Yeah, it's a 1/6, so
Yeah, I know.
yeah. And you want to at least get. Yeah, I don't know. You could be lucky if you draw a white one, then you only need 3 tokens, of course, in many cases. But
Oh,
yeah.
there was something about the white tokens. You don't want 3 white tokens
Oh, you don't want to draw 2 white tokens in an action.
in one
So
action.
because then exactly. Then it would cancel the action.
All right.
So there's of course some push your luck if you get to that.
I think I'll use the goggles then, and put them in slot. I really want to open that door, so I'm gonna put him in slot 4. It's gonna go for maximum, hopefully. So I can interact for 4, and so I can draw them right away, right?
You draw one at a time.
Yes, of course. So that's 1 red. That's 1, 2, 3. Oh no! All different colors. Oh no! That's a bummer. Well, should I keep the blue one? There's 8 of them, so technically I could still get blue for the other one. Can I also just discard the blue one over here? Like if I go back to this door and I draw different colors?
Yeah. Once you start drawing again for you can change the color if you need to. So.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put the blue ones there then. Means there's 1 less in there, but there's also white ones, so Oh, I can take 1 or 2 of them. You can both.
Yeah, both. Yeah. 1 color. You keep 1 color.
Okay. Yeah. Correct. All right. So put those back. All right. So that was my interaction action. Secondly, then I will see if I can move. South. Let's see. This is only 1 with a potential of rolling another one. So that would be 1, 2. But then I kind of want to try and get as far as possible.
Yeah, if you can get here, then the amount of squares would lead all of them to move this way, right? This way around.
Yeah. I'm debating whether I use my enhanced legs, which will guarantee that I can move. Oh, that's 2 spaces, so that's also 1, 2. But I could roll extra.
There are no dice on that one for now.
No, there's 0 dice exactly. The disruption suit gives me +2 to all of my movement actions, but yeah, this is an action itself, so I can't take another action there. I do have 2 dice, but that's also not an action. Correct.
So you're not guaranteed to get movement, but there are movement points on the dice. So
yeah, the thing is, if I'm wearing the disruption suit, that would cost me an action to put it on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But then I roll 2 dice. Say that those 2 dice roll a a number of movements, say 3 movement, for example, then I
Yeah.
do not get the +2 to my
No,
move,
because it's
that's
not
an
actions
action.
in itself. It's just movement points.
Right.
Correct.
But 2 dice is pretty good.
It's not bad.
That's not bad. And probably a better chance than this basic move action, because that only gives me 1 die, and I need to roll the double one if I want to move 3 spots. So I'm gonna take the suit just because it gives me 2 dice. I'm putting it here. I can put it in 2, but I'm putting it in 3.
Yeah.
So I have some more movement later. So then I roll 2 dice. I'll roll these 2. Go. Come on, come on, come on. That's 2 movements. So I'll use 1 focus to re-roll this die. On more movement. Oh. I'm gonna do that again.
I will let you kill the enemies if it happens.
Such a bummer. So 1, 2. Yeah, I'm just gonna spend all my focus.
Come on.
Spend all my focus. Just
It's
one
important roll. Go.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
So I can move 2. So then probably maybe it's best now to just move towards it then instead of back here, or do we still want to try and get them?
I think even if we just try to kill them, it's probably best that you move behind the wall, because if they start shooting, at least you're covered for
Yeah. Okay. So
for a while, because I will have to take my turn.
Yeah.
After you, anyways, right? So.
Yeah, because these have a range of 3, movement of 2, except for when it's in a mission that they move 1, and when they hit you, they deal 2 damage, and that's just 2 damage every time. There's no dice involved. They don't have any shields, and they have 5 hit points.
Yeah.
And you can use those dials on the bottom to show their current hit points, so that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
All right, so those were my 2 actions. This goes down, so that comes back into my hand. The rifle. This goes down 1 spot. This goes down 1 spot. I flip my token, and I advance the token. All right.
Yeah.
Good. So then let's enemies turn.
The enemies.
Yes.
Okay, you interacted with something, so the one moves here towards you, and the other one, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, so it will move this way. Okay, so we have, due to my incompetence in movement, I'm not the commander on this mission, so that might be why. I have kind of split up the robots now, which is a really
unfortunate
stupid thing. It's like, I mean, if I had just stayed put over there and not moved my corpus all the way across the room, then we could have been in a different situation.
Yeah.
And I'm not in league with the droids or anything. That's not how it is.
Yeah.
But I better just I can shoot one of them from here. So I'm guessing that would be my choice. Let me do that. And then you can take out the other guy.
Yeah. So we only lose. Yeah. Okay. Just reread the rules. We lose 2 turns if we engage them. So I thought I was gonna go all the way back here to.
2-2. Yeah. No. It's only reduced by 2, so it's not a huge.
That should be.
We're also only in mission 2, right? So.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it would be good to see if I can just destroy the first enemy here. So I will use my pulse rifle. I will have to put it in 4. I will use one of my tokens to add a damage. So I have 3 damage. I have 1 die. And I will spend the shield because I have my other ability here that allows me to use a shield to get another die. So I have 2 dice for that pulse rifle.
Yes.
That sounds like something for me.
Oh, plus
Okay.
2. Nice.
So, yeah, so that is 5 damage. I regain my shield. So that was a 0 loss there, and I kill the droid.
Yep. So again, for
So
those who missed it, there's 2 basic damage on the pulse rifle. There's a plus 2 on the die that was rolled, and you spent one of these red
yeah,
tokens.
exactly.
Yeah. Because that is what
So
this card allows you to do.
yeah, so right here in the red one, it says that it gains 1. Okay, so that token is of course out of the game for now. I killed this one, and I have an ability here. It does not affect you because you are not adjacent to me, but it says here, if your action deals more than 3 damage to an enemy, regardless of shields, deal 1 damage to all adjacent allies. So my bloodlust just kicked in, but luckily you are not standing next to me, so no problem there. I will hereafter. I will probably just move.
Okay.
I will probably just move to get in. No, I think I will. There's not much for me. I cannot reach the other guy to do anything about him, and I do not want to cool down more efficiently, I think, because I have my intimidating battle cry. So I will do 1 move. I can roll a die, but there is not any particular need for it. +1. I will just move here in adjacent to you. So yeah. So I'm closer to the action. So I will cool down. I will turn my activation token and 1 down with the turn token.
Yes.
So,
but we've also engaged the enemy.
Yeah.
So that means we need to change the card here.
Yeah.
The EPC to automated attack.
Yeah.
So that's this right now. So different behavior for the AI.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Also we need to decrease the turn token by 2 since we're 2 players.
Yeah. Correct? So it's down to 6. Yes. Yeah.
If you're 3 players, that's 3. 4 players, that's 4. All right.
Yeah. So in this instance here, we have 1 enemy left, which will be the lowest initiative, of course, and it will move towards last activated player.
Exactly.
And then it will deal damage to nearest player.
Yes.
Okay, so I should probably have moved somewhere. I am not a good companion to have along now. Now he will move 3 up here, and then he will shoot you.
Exactly.
2 times in the face. Just because I'm standing here. I could also have gone over here and take the damage, and I did not.
So I lose 2 shields.
Oh my, nobody wants to play with me anymore. Like, I hope nobody from my gaming groups or friends see me play like this. Like,
I mean, you're the designer. You're just doing this on purpose to raise the tension of the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. So that was the enemy's turn.
Yes.
And we can both go now. And I think it would be, of course, fine if you destroy him.
Yes, I'll try to do that. Exactly. So I have these katana slashers, which deal 2 damage to 2 adjacent enemies. Well, there is only 1 left. I can roll a die, so possibly add a +1 or even a +2 to that roll. And I could technically also spend a red.
It only upgrades how many enemies you can stab. It doesn't increase the stab damage.
Correct. Because the 2
so
for the enemies is in brackets, and the other 2 for the damage is not. All right.
So you could use your mech legs instead, perhaps?
Yeah, this one lets me move. Well, I could do that. I could technically move towards the door again. And then deal 3 damage to the enemy. Yeah, that seems like a good thing to do. This does have a cooldown of 2, which is taken, so I need to move it all the way in 4, sadly. But it's a 3 guaranteed damage, and then you might be able to finish the job afterwards.
Well, you can do your basic interact first, and if you get 2 damage through your basic interact, then you know you can use your meg legs for
I can
for
use
sure.
both of these technically, or my basic.
Yeah, exactly.
So, questions. Yeah, I have to do that because if I use the katana slashers, then this spot will be full, and I won't be able to play the legs.
Yeah.
So I need to do the basic attack. So okay.
Yeah, to begin with, just to see if you get the damage you
Plus
want or
one,
need.
hopefully, yeah. All
Otherwise,
right,
you can always move behind me so that he shoots me in the face.
Okay, I'll roll one die here. So give me a +1 or a +2. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So that means I deal 3 damage to the adjacent enemy. So he's down to 2 damage.
Yep.
Right, there we go. And that means I can now safely use... Oh, I could actually do the katana slashers as well. Because although this does put me in the correct position for opening the door next time. But perhaps you want to try the left door then, and I'll take the right one. That could also...
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Both viable options, you could say. I would even say you don't have any reroll right now, so you might not want to use the basic interact because you could get no pluses, of course. But there is also it depends on how much you want to gamble, right? Because you could get a +1 and you would just kill him with the.
I could just use the katana because that doesn't matter that much, and then use the legs later on to move quickly towards the right. So I'll do that. I'll use the katana. I deal 2 damage to the adjacent enemies. There's only 1, so he's gone. And I do get to roll a die, but it doesn't. Well, I could roll a movement, of course. So if I roll a movement, that would still help me. Oh, that's 1 movement. So I'll use the movement on this result to move diagonally towards the other door then.
Cool.
So those were my 2 actions.
And you get a focus for killing the enemy.
Exactly. I killed an enemy, so that gets me a focus. Perfect. This moves to the left. This is flipped over, and the turn marker advances 1 spot. All right. And that was my turn. Now, the enemies aren't here anymore. So what happens?
Check and see. If success through trigger 3. So we have a success by using trigger 3, right? Where we change the goal to eliminate all enemies. Yeah. So you can go to C2 mission update 1B.
All right, C2 mission update 1B. So I flipped. This is 1A, and this is 1B. All right, so it's changed slightly. Umbracious talks to us over the comm. If you have a hammer, all problems start to look like nails, don't they? I guess that is also true for guns. Well, at any speed, good job, Commander. We have access to the station and are performing a scan of the station and its data. Wait a minute. We are detecting a severe gas leak inside the station. We can't see if this is caused by your destruction or something overriding the system. Get to the fuel control room and see if you can shut down the leak and start the ventilation. Oh boy, more trouble. So the parameters for this mission, we get a success. We have a turn limit of 2, 3, or 4, so that's 2 right now. Oh boy. We need to get the commander adjacent to the point of interest, which is the question mark token, I believe.
Yeah, it's right in here, yeah.
And the trigger conditions turns spent after the turn token reaches 0 result in every player losing 1 focus and 1 shield in the beginning of every turn. Ah, right, because of the gas leak. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's a nice way to use that mechanism. All right, so we need to get here. And there's only one door because the map, that is a enclosed area.
Yeah, so I will move towards it and see if I can open it.
Yeah.
So that you're
the closest.
get in there. Come on. Ah, that's what I needed. 1, 2, 3. Yes. I could stand here, but since you might want to move diagonally in, so I will just stand here in front of the door.
Yes.
Because you want to get in there. Then I will use my basic interact, and I will spend the shield to get 2 tokens because I need to make up for my blunder here. So let me see what I can do. That was movement point. I do not need that. 1 reroll. Come on. That's 1 reroll more for me.
Oh no.
Come on. Yes. Okay, 3 tokens I'm allowed to draw out of the bag.
That's
1,
that's another
2.
red. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Instant success.
That is performance.
Wow.
Super.
Well done.
That was also needed after my, just destroying things and not doing anything productive. Okay. I opened the door, and that was my turn. So.
And so, on a successful interaction, those tokens stay out of the bag.
Yeah. So we have an idea of what we have used on other things not unfinished, and then we have some tokens that are not going back.
Exactly.
So yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, so
1, and we are both able to take
another turn.
Yeah, but that would be you if we are not supposed to lose anymore.
Exactly, yeah. Because basically at the start of this next mission part, we both just reset, right? We don't, or does it continue from the previous page?
The mission goes to the next update, so we continue on whatever we are at. That's why losing 1 focus and 1 shield is... I don't know. I can ask the one who created it, but I think it's pretty detrimental to lose too much of that. So
all right,
yeah.
Let's see. So I need to get over here fast. The door is open. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots, and then I'm adjacent. Let's see. I can move 1 and then see if I can roll. I do still have my suit, so I have +2 to all my movement actions, which is good. So that means +3. So basically 3 movement if I play the card, and if I roll a +2, perhaps, then I can. So let's try that.
Yeah.
Basic movement. I can always still use the legs if needed.
Even with the double and basic move, you will get there as long as you have your suit. So pretty good.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah. All right. So I roll a die. Let's roll this one. That's either a movement or a +1 to movement, so that doesn't matter. So that's 1 for the card, 1 from the die, and 2 from the suit. I actually wanted more, but let's not risk it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This goes back into my hand. And then, let's see, do I have something that only lets me deal damage to an adjacent enemy? I don't have anything... Well, the jamming rifle lets me interact within 5 space.
But you don't need to interact with it. You just need to be adjacent to.
Just need to get there.
Yeah. So I have opened the door, so all good for now.
In that case, I can just play my basic movement, and I will still roll because I could get a shield. And I get a shield. That's
awesome.
I had a shield, and I have 1 movement, so I move adjacent to this token. So that's what we did. We get the commander adjacent to the point of interest. Perfect.
Well, if you just then you finish your turn, or then
yes.
You can.
So basically, this goes back to my hand. This also goes back to my hand. It's not cooldown 0. This goes to 1. This goes to 2. Flip this over, and I move this to 0. We were there just in time. Very urgent.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's see what the next page.
Yes, so we go to C2 mission update number 2. That's this one. All right, so let's read that. I'll move that over a bit so people can see the art. Umbracious tells us over the com, we're picking up a life form inside the fuel control room with you. Check it out, Commander. We will not have our first job jeopardized by a witness. There's a female engineer there. Please don't hurt me. I wasn't trying to. Please just let me go, and I'll be on my way. I won't tell anyone about you. I just work here from time to time, I swear. Ambrasia says, don't trust her. What would she be doing here if she wasn't in league with the Hellfires? What about the gas leak? That could be her action. She's also a witness, and we can't have that. Dispose her now. Nobody will be around to talk about us, and nobody will miss a human in these parts of the galaxy. Kill her. That's an order. No, please, I beg you. So that's we have an employer who doesn't really care.
Yeah.
And we need to decide now if we kill her or not. Oh boy. All right. So,
yeah.
What do you think, Emil? What's your call?
That's hard. That's hard.
It is.
I think since the commander will break a tie, I can vote and I can go with whatever I feel like, because you will of course decide it, but I need to vote. So
Tough call.
I guess we can maybe kill her.
Yeah, I mean, so remind me again, because we talked about our mission during the tutorial. So remind me again exactly what Ambrosius wants us to do. He wants us to he wants us to get technology, right? That can change planets or even stars.
Yeah, and we are hacking things right now. We're doing small time jobs to get different to get knowledge about where to go next and so on. But of course, the scale of things will not stay in this for a long time. So, I mean, in terms of, you could say, in terms of consequences, here is a more local consequence, which might hit us in the butt down the line, depending on what we chose.
Yeah.
And all options are viable. So, and that's very important, actually, that I do not want to do, talk morals and talk, I don't want to talk down to players or to people playing the game. It's very much I want choices to be viable, both choices or all choices, because sometimes there will be more than two choices, of course. They should all be viable depending on, the context that either your character sees it from or in terms of what you're trying to gain for a mission, right? So, you will always be battling whether or not you should do what seems right now, or you should do what seems right in the long run. But there's not a wrong choice.
Okay. Well, maybe having an ally later on, perhaps if we ever return here, is not a bad thing. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and believe her that she's not gonna tell anyone. So we're just gonna talk to her. Listen, you better not tell anyone, or we'll come and find you, and we'll let her live for now.
Yeah.
So that means we to, if we voted no, we go to C2A, mission update 3. That's the next page. Over again. There we go. Oh. There. So, players who voted yes, that is to kill her, they color in one right half on their legacy folder next to Umbracious, and players who voted no get the left side, the sun icon. And
Yeah,
so
I've
that
just
is
pointed out here's
yes. Oh, that's just,
an example of it for my character here,
exactly.
which is just a prototype, very very prototype-ish thing, right? But you have this relationship here with different characters that you will meet, and in this instance here, where I voted to kill her, I would then color
The right side of
the right side here, right? With I would do like
exactly.
this. That would be permanent. So my standing with Umbracious is already colored because he's the same race as me, right? So or the same species as my character, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was already on good terms with him in terms of how I think, right? How I feel about somebody and how they feel about me.
Okay.
And it just got better for me. And in your instance,
my
it
sheet,
would
yeah,
then
exactly.
be painting over there. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So technically, having circles on the left is bad, basically, and on the right is good, or
No. It is much more. You have to look at it as you could look at it from several perspectives, right? You could look at it as they think you're good, but they could also think of you as weak.
right.
On the other hand, they could look at you as being bad, but they could also look at you as being threatening. So the relations is not like this is necessarily bad and this is necessarily good, because it depends on who is viewing at this, right? So Umbracious might look at me as being weak because I am, lenient with him, or I do just as he say, or maybe he actually thinks I'm a good character. And I'm not going to spell that out for people necessarily, because choices, all have implications that we do not fully understand, or that we do not fully know the
Repercussions that are
the repercussions of later on, right? So sometimes maybe the Hellfires will think that we're some assholes if we have a lot of negative, or the ones on the left side, right, relationship with them. But they might also see us as a threat, which means that they might back down if we have enough of them, right?
right.
So,
Yeah, and of course, I assume that the scenario at some point will tell you, look, if you're standing with this or that character is that many circles to the right or to the left, and this and that happens, triggers something perhaps in the story. So that's another legacy effect here, which is pretty cool. And I'm really intrigued by how that will play out. So let's see what else. So we color in our sheets, and then we can continue. So Ambrosius says, "Commander, how dare you? I don't pay you to go against my orders. I hope you know what you're doing." And the female engineer says over the comm, "Your white knight syndrome is recommendable, but I'm afraid that your boss was right." "Oh no, don't worry, you won't be around to apologize to him. And I didn't even get your name. Ciao." That conniving. And Ambrasia says, "We have the data. Now get your asses back to the ship ASAP before we all start to regret your decision." Oh no. Small spoiler there.
So,
Okay.
yeah, let's see what happened.
Oh yes.
Because you have to go to mission update 4 now.
Yes, C2A4. That's this one. All right. So the map resets. We have red and yellow characters. So there's. Oh wait, the yellow one also says 1 and 2. So do we get 2 of each now?
Yep.
All right. Okay. Umbracia says, "I guess I spoke too soon. That bitch has just activated a series of sweeper droids. They are hard-coded and put on a self-destruct mode. We can't hack them. Well, I guess this is very much your own causing. We won't be staying around forever. Hurry up." So, we have 8 turns.
Yep.
Get all players on board the ship or eliminate all enemies. Those not reaching the ship before the turn token reaches 0 will be recovered after the mission, painting 1 scar each. So that's what you color on the board, the white circles exactly on the right there. And that will give you certain permanent conditions for the rest of the game, right?
Yeah.
All right. Trigger conditions. Ship. The ship is part of the mission board and can be boarded or exited by players only. Enemies will not move towards or target players already on board the ship. So we're safe on the ship. If all players are unconscious, we fail. All are recovered after the mission with a scar. So, okay, that could also happen.
Yep.
All right. Interesting. So we just need to get our asses to the ship.
Yeah.
Which is over here. Cool interior there. Really like that.
So, and it's only me who can move, but first the enemies, of course, move. And since they were just introduced and the trigger introduced them and the mission check there.
Yes, that was number 2.
Enemy turn, the red one. So we have the red ones in the bottom. And what does it say over here? It says if the activated enemy was damaged last turn, use third row instead. They are all fine, I guess.
Yep.
Last activated player. So the first one will go towards last activated player.
Which was me.
With a movement of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it will shoot nearest player, which is me, so I take 1 damage.
Okay.
And the next one, most distant player, but that is basically also you here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's see, it has a range of 2, so it will not move any further, as it can reach you if it needed to. And it targets nearest player, which is also me.
No.
How nice. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So I am the one who needs to do something here because I have my activation.
Yes. They only have 3 hit points, so that's not too bad. These are the same.
Yeah. I will move towards... I could charge and then deal 2 damage to one. I could also just move and then do a tail swipe on one of them. I need to roll. I need to spend 1. Yeah. Okay. I will do a basic move first. Over here and roll a die. Yeah, get something. I don't need any more movements. I could have used the shield. Anyways. I will then do my tail swipe and I will spend 1 shield to get 2 dice on that. Oh my. Well, I got a shield and then I get a...
+1.
Yeah. +1, so that's 2. And I have spent all my focus because that is... okay.
Can you
but
still
I will have...
spend a shield to add 1 to that action?
No, I already had spent the shield too. And once you roll your dice, you have committed the resources to that card, so you can no longer spend a
I thought you had
token or something. Yeah, no, I have already spent it, so I will just get a
new shield back.
A shield back, and then I will do 2 damage to both of them.
Yep.
And I think I will use my special ability here, which is this one up here that says Champion's Second Aid. Once per mission, you may perform 1 extra action on your turn.
Oh, nice. Once per mission.
So I'll just put this one on to indicate I've used it, and I will... I could use my gun, but I could also just basic interact and hit one of them and then hope to get a shield more.
Yep.
Okay, I got another shield. I deal 1 damage, so I will take one of these guys out.
Yep.
So
nice one.
Yeah, also I moved over here because when I dealt my damage, I would of course have enabled my bloodlust, which means that I would also have dealt you a damage if so. Yeah. Okay. That was the That was my turn.
Yes. No, the mission hasn't updated, so it's the enemy's turn.
Yep. And now we flip to the yellow, since there are yellows. So when we flip to the next page here.
Yep.
And it has the same-ish saying here. So newest. You say the lowest newest here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it shoots me 1. That's it then. And then most distant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's also me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it cannot reach me, so it only has a range of 2. So yeah. That was fortunate, yeah.
Good.
So that leaves it up to, yeah, we can both go. So you have your katanas are in the cooldown right now.
I do have the legs, so I could jump
nice.
2 spaces and then take out several. Let's see, to one adjacent enemy, and it's 3, so I can take one of the yellow ones out instantly. And then let's see, so 1, 2, 3. If I'm in the spot next to the middle yellow one, I'm adjacent to the others, but I need katanas for that, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, I can use that. Otherwise, I could have slashed them both, which would have been a pretty epic move.
Yeah.
Let's see. I also have the sniper rifle that is just 1 damage, but can be upgraded. Or just a basic attack interaction. That could also be multiple. And this one only has 1 left, right? The red one is only 1. Yes. So I could try that. So let me just do that. I'll use the enhanced mech legs. I'll have to put them in slot 3, even though it only has a 2, because that's taken. I can jump over an object or empty space for 2 spots. Oh, 2 spots. All right. 1, 2. Oh, it's still adjacent, so that's not too bad. So 1, 2. I jump here. Then I deal 3 damage to the yellow adjacent enemy.
Yep.
Got no shields and 3, so that one is taken out immediately. Just crush him with my legs. And that was my first action. And then the second action, I'll just use the basic interact over here to deal 1 damage to the red unit. And I get to roll a die. Let's see what that gets me. +1. Yeah, well, that's unfortunate. I wanted a movement or a shield, but I got +1.
What can you do?
Yep. But he's taken out, so that's great. That's 2 of them out. This one goes back to my hand instantly. Then I move over my cards. This one comes back to my hand as well. Flip over my token and advance the tracker. Did you advance the tracker as well?
Oh, sorry, I did not, because it started on 8, so we should be on 6 now. Yeah. What a game I am. I'm just completely messing up. Okay.
We're doing good.
So, okay, the guy just shoots you. Nearest player moves, it's already within range, and then it shoots you for 1.
For 1 damage. So I'll take a shield damage there.
Yeah. Not too bad.
Yeah.
I will use my... yeah. I'll just use my charge.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, and deal 2 damage to it. And then I will use a... Oh, not a basic move, a basic interact.
Exactly, yeah.
And
also
yeah, and it is dead.
It's gone. Yep.
So, there was being cut on that.
Yeah.
Okay, and pull down.
Yep. Flip it over. Move that one spot.
Super.
No more enemies, so that's good. So that means we can just refresh, start moving.
Yep.
And
And if success,
yeah, we can easily make it towards the ship with the turns we have left by simply moving, right? Do we?
yeah, and it says here get all players on board the ship or eliminate all enemies. So
All right. So
there's
once they're
it's all good.
we
Yeah.
already won. Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So that means success is C2A. That's this one. So let's read that. Umbracious says, I can't help but think this disobedience was all just a show of force. You guys were clearly more than capable of taking out these droids, though I don't see why you'd want to cut it so close, while also pissing me off. At any speed, get some rest before we continue. A few hours later, Commander, I hope you guys managed to get some shut-eye, because we have a long time ahead of us and will probably be working together for even longer. As it is custom among team members to find trust in each other, I'd find it satisfactory to know a bit more about the band of misfits you've brought together. Care to elaborate on how you all ended up here? Now you have a choice. What will you tell Umbracious about yourself? So each player can then decide what they tell Umbracious. If you tell a story about great valor, you gain 1 personality mark in inspiring. So that is what you can color on your sheet. If you tell a story about a person close to you, you get a personality mark. If you tell a story of loss, you get a personality mark in, it's sportive the first one and the cautious the second one. And if you tell a story about your own achievements, you get one in dominating. So basically you get to choose which of these 4 colors on your board you get to color in, which means you get an extra token on your next mission, which is pretty cool. So you can always check your cards and see what your character might be using a lot.
I wanted it to be the first time you get one of these. I wanted it to be of a character choice, but from here on, it is usually the campaign who will hand out these personality tokens depending on how people have acted in different missions and stuff. So it might ask, like, who was the first to leave, a fight, or who was the first to shoot a bad guy or something, and then you would be rewarded with a personality token, right? So,
really cool.
Or it might be some paths that actually lead to different personality tokens, where one might be a cautious approach to a mission, and the other might be a dominating approach to a mission, or inspiring approach, depending on what you do, right?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we could choose that, and then we continue to C3 to space.
Yeah, that would be another mission. Yeah.
Oh, that's just the next mission then. Okay.
It was what would happen if you killed the character and stuff. Those, what would then be going on. So then we'll get to a new mission.
That's a new mission. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. So we completed this second mission basically for us already. I hope that gave you all a clear impression of what this game is about, and this is of course still a prototype. This is a digital prototype, of course. Not all of the art is present or finished. The components that you see here are just placeholders. A lot of this will of course be different in final production.
Also the text. Like I'm not the native English speaking, like you can probably hear that. So of course I will have my author to rewrite the story bits so that it gets all the flavor and proper pronunciation.
Yeah, exactly. So it will be proofread. There will be edits. It will be pretty interesting. I really like what I've seen so far. I like all of the. It plays really intuitively, which I think is a big plus, because not all games have that. There are some games that are very rules heavy and you need to remember a lot of things, but this is pretty straightforward. You've got your cards and that's what you play. They have a cooldown. Really liking that system. I like the fact that you can spend those colored tokens to get bonuses on some of these cards, and you gain more through playing these missions. You have your abilities on your card. You have your focus to reroll. You have your shields that protect you until you take damage. And all of that works so intuitively. And of course, you do have the little card that helps you remember what you can do, even though it's pretty basic. And on the back of this card, you can also check again what all the icons mean and the dice. So it's a very handy reference card. Basically, this card is the only reference you need, and the rest is read in the book as you go along. So I'm loving this so far. And
Cool. I'm happy to hear that.
absolutely, and I love the art that is done so far. I'm liking the tiles, basically a board you play on. Really liking all of the different characters. I'm just gonna have a quick look at all of that. I'm just like the cover
Yeah.
art is pretty awesome as well, I have to say. So we have this is still a sketch. Andril Coltis is still a sketch, but already looking pretty interesting. Here we have one that's closer to being finished. Memnon looking really cool, and Vera here. So she's a Terran, a human female.
Yep.
This was your character. And as you can see, some of the icons in the bottom of these cards are also not yet finished. So you have the gun, the tail, and the middle one is not finished yet. This one does have 3 finished pieces of card.
She's pretty finished, yeah.
Yeah.
But and you will, in general, experience that they play very differently.
Yes.
Like they really have a very different approach. Like we could straight up kill these droids, and most characters can. Like it's not a difficult mission, of course, but some of the characters are just so much better at hacking and moving around. That's also a thing. Like some are just super agile, which makes them perfect for kind of control the enemy's movement, or and some of them have crowd control weapons, or area effect and stuff like that. And so
yeah, it really looks very promising. And I just love how the gameplay, the flow of the game is so quick, and of course it's fully cooperative, which is definitely something I like. I love cooperative dungeon crawler games. Liking the theme so far as well. I mean, science fiction is always cool in my book.
Yeah.
And it really feels like you're playing the story, and the actions you take also feel very thematic. Like my card with the enhanced mech legs, because you can jump a couple of spaces and then you deal damage, and then you have the katanas with the swords coming out of my wrists, and slashing 2 characters at once, and that just feels so cool. You get sucked into the story, and really liking what I see so far. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the Kickstarter. So that's once again, that is the 1st of February next year in 2022.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on that, people. As soon as there is something that we can click on to get a notification, I'll post that, and we can find more information on your website as well. I'll put a link in the description below. All the social media links I'll put there, so you can check them out. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Emil?
No, I'm not really. Like, there's a lot more to unlock, a lot more to talk about, a lot more to the campaign will open up so many other aspects, and add cards and other elements and companions to the game, right? But it has to come. Like, I don't want to get everything front loaded for the players, because it needs to be an experience. So there's definitely more to check out, and the first 12 missions are available on Tabletop Simulator, so people can go nuts.
Okay, that's already pretty a lot of missions. How many missions do you think will be in the final version?
Well, I said 12 missions here, and that is only 8 missions deep in terms of story, because of the branching paths, right? So somewhere you will go down, and you will have some missions where you will not see the other missions unless you restart the entire campaign. Right. So I am expecting around, I've planned for, in terms of story arc and chapters, you might say, and around 40 missions deep. So that will be probably 60-ish missions in
Yes.
total, and then there are one unique mission for each character, like a personal story or quest that the character wants to, have the team participate in, right? So, and they will be unlocked differently depending on the character and the progression. So, it will be there will be plenty of hours and weeks of play in the story. Yeah.
I cannot wait. You've already convinced me. I'm convinced. So
Cool. I'm happy to hear that.
yeah, absolutely. I love these kind of games. All right. Well, thank you all very much. Thank you, Emil, in the first place, for playing the demo with me and for being
I
here.
thank you.
And everybody,
Yeah, I thank you.
Yeah, everybody, thanks for watching. Please, of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe as well if you haven't already. If you hit the bell icon, you'll get a notification whenever I upload a new video on my channel. Please also consider becoming a Patreon saint if you go to my Patreon page by following the link in the description below or the Patreon icon at the end of this video. You'll go to my page and you can see how you can support my channel starting from as little as $1 a month. You'll get access to the Patreon exclusive videos as well as your name in the credits of my videos. Thank you so much for being here, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.